Hi, and welcome to ChannelShift.com. I'm Rob D'Amico alongside Michele Rahal. Let's talk a little Tony Stewart. His contract's up for grabs right now, and he's playing the field. He's got his cards close to his chest, but guess what? He's letting out a couple secrets here and there.
And it's amazing to me how smooth he's become. Have you noticed that? He's so smooth in what he's letting out. You know that he's got the business people behind him telling him exactly what to say. Pull the little string, let it go. And it's so smooth coming out, it makes you want to croak.
Where's your string, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, some of the rumors that have been out there, Haas CNC, and I got to give credit to Lee Spencer. She did a great job. She's the first one that broke that because of the whole Chevy alliance that he has.
Yeah, nobody gave her credit for it but us, by the way.
That's true. Now let's talk about the Chevy deal. Chevy obviously was upset when Joe Gibbs Racing went to Toyota, but I understand why Joe Gibbs Racing did that. They needed to be a top caliber team, and they got that moving over to Toyota.
They did somehow, somewhere in the mix. Tony Stewart is just not playing well with others. But which is not to say the two other teammates, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, are playing well with each other. But Tony Stewart has another agenda. I mean, let's remember, this guy owns racetracks, he owns other teams. You know, he has begun to position himself to where his future is what he's looking at. And 2010 may be that point in time where his future starts.
Well, you know that J.D. Gibbs had mentioned if Tony Stewart wanted ownership, he'd have to go somewhere else.
That is a red herring. That is a negotiating point that anyone would throw out in order to make themselves seem more valuable. We're not going to spend that much money on you. You're not going to get a piece of the ownership of this. But it's already been thrown out to Greg Biffle. It's been thrown out to other people out there. Why not? And why not? But I mean, the big issue is that Tony Stewart owns several racetracks. He owns several racing teams. He's already begun to plan his future, and it is a legitimate thing to ask for. You will never see it in Formula One. I mean, their lifespan in Formula One is until when they stop driving, that's it. Alain Prost was the last driver to own a racing team. He lasted one season. He was out with the trash.
All right, some of the other guys that are rumored or that we know of that have contracts is Martin Truex Jr., but he's got his DEI, picked up the option on that, and he will be back in 2009 at DEI. Ryan Newman at Penske, Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards are just to name a few. Their contracts are going to end this year, so we can see a huge silly season this year.
I think you will, but I think if you look at Ryan Newman, is Ryan Newman in the right place? Ryan Newman he's able to get it on the pole many times. He just can't seem to close the deal. I mean, how popular is he in the garage? Look at Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle's very consistent, but I think Greg Biffle operates under the Roush banner and Carl Edwards better than most. So I see Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle staying in the same place. Even Edwards admits he's been offered ownership in other teams.
Well, I can't blame him. I mean, Carl Edwards could drive the wheels off of anything you put him in. Greg Biffle, on the other hand, I'm a little worried about Greg Biffle. He's a past champion in the Busch Series, now the Nationwide Series, also the Craftsman Truck Series, but he hasn't really gotten to the point.
Damn near won the championship at Homestead, what, 2 years ago? You and I were there.
Yes, we were, but he hasn't pulled it off yet. And I'm wondering if he's really got the opportunity at Roush Racing. If he went somewhere else, could he pull this one off?
But where the hell would he go? That's my point. Where's he going to go? Now what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is very Formula One-like. The teams are starting to dry up. You got very few options of top-notch drivers, but you have even fewer teams for them to go to. If Tony Stewart were able to buy into a team that had the correct managerial order, it might work. But I think him owning a team, the natural inclination of somebody with his ego is to tell everybody what to do, even though he's appointed someone above him.
If anybody knows anything about drying up, it's Rahal. No, all right.
Every time I talk to him, I dry up.
Let's talk a little Tony Stewart, though. What do you think's going to happen?
I think ultimately he is probably going to remain where he is. I think J.D. Gibbs and the gang are going to give in. He's been there for so long. The only way that anything can go wrong, I think, is if they somehow lock up Zipadelli. And if they lock up Zipadelli, he's staying at J.D. Gibbs. If they don't lock up Zipadelli, he may be able to move and be able to move to, I would say, an RCR.
You make a great point with Zipadelli. Those guys have been together since he started in the racing in 1999 as a rookie, and they've stayed together ever since. The longest relationship in NASCAR right now. I will say this, though. If Chevy throws out enough money, Tony Stewart will make the jump because Joe Gibbs Racing then buys out the contract. Now they can go and get somebody else. Kyle Busch at that point would be the star of that team, and I think that would be great.
He's the star of the team now. What's the difference? Right now, he is the star of the team. What did he say about Hendricks? The media asked him.
Love this.
Stupidly asked him, you know, did Hendrick make a mistake? He said, ask Hendrick after Miami.
Strong statement. You got to love it. I love Kyle Busch.
And he's taking the fight to him.
There's no doubt. All right, folks, you got an opinion. We want to know all about it. You can send it to us. All you got to do is log on to channelshift.com, hit the upload button for Michele Rahal. No, he's not drying up. Don't worry about it. We'll keep him around.
Take a poll on him.
I'm Rob D'Amico. Thanks for watching.